You all literally embody the nation's creed, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Collecting of people of different backgrounds, beliefs, and talents from different generations and different genders, using the remarkable gifts and unwavering passion to strengthen our resolve as one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It matters. It really does matter. As cultural icons, defined statements, dignified statements, humanitarians, rock stars, sports stars, you feed the hungry, you give hope to those who are hurting, and you craft the signs and sounds, our movements and our memories. You know, it's amazing. Your innovation, you inspire, you bring healing and joy to so many lives, otherwise wouldn't be touched. You answer the call to serve and led others to do the same thing. And you defend the values of America even when they're under attack, which they have been lately. Together, you leave an incredible mark, and I mean this sincerely, this group up here, you leave an incredible mark on our country with insight and influence that can be felt around the globe in major cities and remote areas alike, binding us closer as people and showing us that what's possible as a nation, there's nothing beyond our capacity, while representing your families, your communities, your ancestors with pride and appreciation at the same time. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize those honorees who are no longer with us, including the young man speaking. By the way, kids rule in this house, okay? Don't worry about it. And y'all think I'm kidding, I'm not. Ash Carter, Miss Fannie Lou Hamer, George Romney, Bobby Kennedy, heroes of the highest order, and Bobby Kennedy is one of my true political heroes. I love and I miss them dearly. I thank their families, all their families. You know, as we carry on this sacred effort with courage and conviction that you all began. So today, I want to congratulate you on all you've accomplished, and I'm grateful for the work you'll inspire for generations to follow, to stay engaged, to never give up, to always keep the faith. And in that spirit, from the People's House, where Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass and generations of patriots before us have stood watch over the Republic, I ask the military to begin the reading of the citations for this year's Medal of Freedom honorees.
Jose Andres. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Jose Andres. From his parents' kitchen in Spain, Jose Andres arrived in America with little money and big dreams. Over the course of 3 decades, he mastered his culinary craft with renowned restaurants that span culture and cuisine and bring people together. His World Central Kitchen revolutionized humanitarian assistance by mobilizing fellow chefs and providing meals to people left in the wake of natural disasters and war. With his unmatched personality and heart, Jose Andres shows us that there is a seat for everyone at the table. Bono. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Bono as the lead singer of U2 one of the most successful rock bands in history, Bono changes the world through his art and activism. In an Irish tradition of poetry and protest, rebellion and rejoicing, he has composed anthems to peace and civil rights. As a humanitarian, he lifts up causes from ending poverty and disease to calling for debt relief for developing nations. The common beat of his life's work is the power of freedom, a tie that also binds Ireland and America as beloved friends. Accepting on behalf of Ashton Baldwin Carter is Stephanie Carter. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Ashton Baldwin Carter. A scientist turned Secretary of Defense, Ash Carter was a true patriot. Over 4 decades in and out of the Pentagon, he was a key leader, thinker, and strategist on critical issues ranging from nuclear nonproliferation, counterterrorism, and our sacred obligation to equip, care, and protect our service members and their families. His scientific and technological innovations made our nation safer, and his integrity and mentorship inspired generations of Americans to serve and protect our nation with honor and dignity. Hillary Rodom Clinton. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Hillary Rodom Clinton. Hillary Rodom Clinton is guided by the Methodist Creed, do all the good you can, in all the ways you can. As a lawyer, she defended the rights of children. As First Lady, she fought for universal health care and declared women's rights are human rights. As Senator, she helped New York rebuild after September 11, 2001. As Secretary of Barriers and inspired generations. Through it all, her career has been dedicated to an eternal truth. America's ideals are sacred, and we must always defend and live by them. Michael J. Fox. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox is one of the most beloved actors of our time. With remarkable wit and charm, he introduced iconic characters to the center of American culture, from Alex P. Keaton to Marty McFly and more. With undaunted resilience and optimism, he also warms hearts and captivates audiences as a fearless advocate for those with Parkinson's disease. Channeling his endearing personality, to advance treatments, move us closer to a cure, and remind us of the power of American possibilities. Tim Gill. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Tim Gill, a leading philanthropist and civil rights leader. Tim Gill advances the cause of equality for the LGBTQ community in America and the world. A visionary entrepreneur, he has helped lead the fight against HIV/AIDS, laid the groundwork for marriage equality, and so much more. His strong character, unwavering resolve, and indisputable effectiveness in fighting for love and equality for all make him a key figure in our nation's story of freedom. Jane Goodall. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Jane Goodall. From war-torn England to the jungles of Tanzania, Dr. Jane Goodall's childhood passion for animals led her to explore wildlife in Africa. Her groundbreaking discoveries of chimpanzees challenged scientific convention, reshaped conversations, and the environment we share. Jane's activism, vision, and message of hope have mobilized a global movement to protect the planet. Above all, she has taught us that when we search for humanity in the natural world around us, we discover it within ourselves. Accepting on behalf of Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer is Doris HR Richardson. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, one of the most powerful voices of the civil rights movement. Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer spent 18 years as a sharecropper in Mississippi before learning that black citizens had a constitutional right to vote. With that newfound freedom, she sacrificed her own safety to organize and register fellow black voters across the South. Brutally beaten but undeterred, for decades, she spoke truth to power to expand political participation and economic rights for all Americans, and left these words echoing in the nation's conscience: nobody's free until everybody is free. Irvin Magic Johnson. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Irvin Magic Johnson. With unmatched vision and versatility, Irvin Magic Johnson drove the Showtime era for the Los Angeles Lakers. 5-time NBA champion, 3-time MVP, 12-time All-Star, Olympic gold medalist, and the Naismith Hall of Famer. Under the same bright lights, his honesty about his HIV status shattered stigma and saved lives. The first retired athlete to build a true business empire, he champions underserved communities. With a legendary will and smile, Magic Johnson rose from the playground in Lansing, Michigan, to become one of the most beloved athletes of our time. Accepting on behalf of Robert Francis Kennedy is Carrie Kennedy. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Robert Francis Kennedy. Born into a revered family of service, Robert F. Kennedy forged a path toward freedom that endures today. Guided by the Constitution as his conscience, he was a key strategist to his brother's successful campaigns for Senate and the presidency, before serving as Attorney General, Senator, and a presidential candidate himself. With deep empathy and resolve, powerful prose and poetry, he focused the nation's moral compass on the cause of civil rights and the ripples of hope we can each cast as we choose not division, not hatred, not violence or lawlessness, but love, wisdom, and compassion toward one another. Ralph Lauren. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Ralph Lauren. The son of Polish immigrants and a U.S. Army veteran, Ralph Lauren transformed a small necktie business into one of America's most iconic brands, leaving a lasting imprint on the world of fashion, fragrance, furniture, and beyond. Throughout it all, he remains a dedicated philanthropist, including fighting to end cancer as we know it. Classic yet creative, timeless yet innovative, Ralph Lauren reminds us of our distinct style as a nation of dreamers and doers. William Sanford NY. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to William Sanford Nye. A Washington, D.C. native, Bill Nye began his career as a cutting-edge mechanical engineer in Seattle before becoming a beloved science educator for the nation. Earning 19 Emmy Awards for his energetic experiments on television as Bill Nye the Science Guy, he also earned the trust of millions of children and families. By sharing the magic of fun and science, he inspires generations of Americans to follow facts and reason and leave the world better than we found it. Accepting on behalf of George W. Romney is Mitt Romney. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to George W. Romney. Born to humble beginnings as the son of Mormon missionaries, George Romney had the idea that everyone deserves a fair shot at the American dream. As a respected auto executive and three-term Republican governor of Michigan, he served as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, advanced civil rights, tackled poverty, and stood up for everyday Americans, embodying an enduring faith in God and a love of country. David M. Rubenstein. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to David M. Rubenstein. From a working-class family in Baltimore, David Rubenstein has become a renowned leader in business, arts, and culture. After serving our nation on the staff of the Senate Judiciary Committee and in President Carter's White House, David went on to become a transformational business leader and philanthropist, from advancing cutting-edge cancer treatment to restoring our nation's monuments. His leadership reminds us that at our best, we learn from, preserve, and share our history so that everyone sees themselves in the story of America. Accepting on behalf of George Soros is Alex Soros. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to George Soros. Born into a Jewish family in Hungary, George Soros escaped Nazi occupation to build a life world. Educated in England, he settled in America as he became an investor and philanthropist, supporting key pillars of open societies: rights and justice, equity and equality, freedom now and in the future. His inspiring generosity reminds us all of our capacity and our obligation to stand up to the abuse of power and to be guardians of democracy and all people yearning to be free. George Stevens, Jr. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to George Stevens, Jr. Born into an entertainment family in Los Angeles, George Stevens, Jr. found his own purpose as a storyteller. As a young aide in the Kennedy administration, he produced hundreds of documentaries that championed freedom and democracy. He then created the American Film Institute and Kennedy Center Honors, lifting up the arts and artists at the heart of American culture. In a career spanning 7 decades, George's creativity, vision has helped redeem the soul of a nation founded on the power of free expression. Denzel Washington. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is considered one of the greatest actors of our time. Over 4 decades on screen and stage, his portrayals of iconic figures and everyday people have earned him wide acclaim that includes 2 Academy Awards, 2 Golden Globes, and a Tony Award so far. The admiration of audiences and peers is only exceeded by that of the countless young people he inspires. With unmatched dignity, extraordinary talent, and unflinching faith in God and family, Denzel Washington himself is a defining character of the American story. Wintor. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Anna Wintor. The daughter of a former newspaper editor, Anna Wintor has used her creative talent, taste, and style for decades to redefine fashion journalism in America and around the world. Pushing creative boundaries, she uses fashion as a mirror to reflect our culture and helps the next generation of entrepreneurs and designers define their vision and find their voice. From the pages of magazines to runways and red carpets, Anna Wintor has cemented her legacy as a global fashion, cultural, and business icon.
Not a bad group, huh? Thank you all again. Thank you and to your families for your service and theirs to the nation. Congratulations, but let's remember, our sacred effort continues. We have to keep going. As my mother would say, we got to keep the faith. Amen. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Please enjoy the reception. God love you all. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, please remain in your seats as the President and Dr. Biden, the Vice President and Mr. Emhoff, and the Medal of Freedom recipients have departed the East Room.